Hi, I'm Steve Adams from Racing Index. In this video, I'll be taking a look at the 2020 Racing horse racing tipster. They run several tipping services for both back and lay bets and have been proofing selections to Racing Index since 2012. I'll be concentrating on their high strike rate tips, which rather impressively have made a profit every year based on Betfair SP. Since the start of this year, I've been checking the early odds available at the time they put the selections up on their website. In a moment, I'll show you my results comparison to see if it's possible to achieve better returns taking the early price. But before I do that, I'll explain a little about 2020 Racing. So let's jump over to the computer and take a look at their website. Their website's at 2020racing.co.uk. They have a main backing service, a high strike rate backing service, and then two lay bet services for 360 lays and 240 lays. They offer a number of different membership options, including the full member service, which you can subscribe to on either a monthly, 3-monthly, 6-monthly or yearly basis. So that includes all their back and lay bet tips. Or you can just subscribe to the 240 lays or the 360 lays individually on a monthly basis. Or you can have those as a combined package where you save over the price of the two. And then you can subscribe to the high strike rate service just on its own. That's available just on a monthly basis. Or you can get the high strike rate bets as part of the full member service. Scroll back up, go onto the member zone, and if I click on high strike rate members, because that's the bit I've got access to. Now they've not actually got any bets today, but normally they'd put the bets up there in the evening for the following day's racing. So any selections that have a 2 by them will be a 2-point stake. If we look down here at the bottom, you see 2020 Vision selections. Now this is a new service that they've been providing. They do back and lay bets for those. So if you subscribe to the high straight rate service, then you'd get the back selections for the 2020 Vision. And if you subscribe to either the lay bet services, then you get the lay bet selections from them. And with the 2020 Vision selections, they're aiming to achieve some lower price lays and more high strike rate bets. Now during the winter months, they don't have many selections for the 2020 Vision, but they look like they might have their first selection of the year tomorrow. Okay, that's enough for their website. Let's jump over to the Racing Index proofing section and we'll have a quick look back at how their past proof selections have performed. If I scroll down to the proofing comparison tables, I'll first of all look at the lay bets, so I'll click on the laying tab. And you can see that they occupy the top 2 positions over the last 12 months, with the 240 lays producing 19.5 points profit at Betfair SP. And that's based on 1 point risk per bet. So it makes no difference what the odds are. If the horse wins the race, then you lose 1 point. And you can see they've achieved a strike rate of 91.6%. And their 360 lays have achieved a slightly higher strike rate, 92.4%, but slightly lower profits of 13.3 based on Betfair SP. I don't want to look at their lay bet systems today, but I will be recording a video in the future where I take a look at those. If we go back to the back bets, in the top 10, they're 2020 Racing, so that's their full back bet service. And the strike rate on that is 17%. And they've actually made a loss on Betfair SP over the past 12 months. But we've actually got them ranked in 3rd because of their VBP, which is their variable bet profit. So that's bigger stakes on the shorter priced horses. And with a good VBP, with a negative Betfair SP, indicates that their shorter price selections are profitable, but their bigger price ones are less so. Again, I'll go into that more detail in another video because I think it's really a video in itself, but I don't really want to get distracted on it now. So I'll explain that another time as to why with a negative Betfair SP, they can actually appear so high up the tables. If we go down a bit further down the table, you see the 2020 Racing HSR, which is high strike rates, 31.5% strike rate. And they've made a profit at Betfair SP of 18.1 points. So these are the ones I've been manually proofing since the start of 2021. I've selected to view the results based on their advised stakes. Now most of their selections are 1 point stake anyway, but occasionally they do have the 2 point stake, so it could have a better indication if we look at those ones. And if I scroll down to the bottom, so you see they've been proofing since 2012. And initially their strike rate was 19%. You see they've been making a profit every year that they've been proofing. And as we go up through the years, you'll see that up to 22%, 26%, 30%, 31%. So as we come up to present day, they're achieving around about 32-33% strike rate. So that's significantly higher than the 19% when they first started proofing. And you can see the profit they made in 2020 is 50 points based on Betfair SP. Now this year they're making a slight loss so far, but that's based on Betfair SP. And what I want to do is compare the selections they've had so far this year with the figures I've recorded based on taking early prices. So I'll now jump over to my slideshow and I'll show you the figures I've recorded so far this year. Since the start of January, 2020 Racing have had 47 high strike rate bets, of which 16 of them have won, which is a 34% strike rate. So those are all win bets, there's no each way betting at all, so that's actual 16 winners. And the total stake has been 52 points, so there's been 5 bets that have been 2-point stakes, all the rest of them have been just the 1 point. And taking odds the evening before racing has so far proved the more profitable, with 6.97 points returned, whereas taking the best odds guarantee price at 8 o'clock in the morning gives 5.85 points. And those two give a return on investment of 13.4 and 11.3 respectively. Betfair SP profit is 0.24. Now that's slightly higher than we saw on the Racing Index proofing. And that's because I'm using a 2% Betfair commission rate rather than the 5% that defaults on the Racing Index proofing area. At starting price, they've made a 2-point loss. Now one thing it's worth bearing in mind there is if you're doing the bets the evening before racing, it's worthwhile looking to see what odds Bet365 are offering, because they go best odds guarantee on their selections the night before, whereas a lot of the other bookmakers don't go best odds guarantee until 8 o'clock the next morning, and sometimes 9 or 10. I think William Hill's 10 o'clock in the morning. So if the Bet365 odds are the same as any of the other bookmakers, then it's definitely worthwhile betting it with them. If they're not as good as the other ones, then I would say you're probably best off going with the other bookmaker, because 9 out of 10 times the odds are going to be shorter at SP, so the best odds guarantee is not going to kick in anyway. If we have a look and see how that all looks in graph format, so this shows how the bets have gone since the start of the year. You can see early on there wasn't too much difference between all the different ones. Betfair prices were doing okay early on, but from about mid-January onwards there was a couple of selections that did shorten a lot in price and won. So taking the early odds there really did improve performance. I'll do a quick summary to wrap things up. 2020 Racing have been proofing their back and lay selections to Racing Index since 2012. Backing their high strike rate selections at Betfair SP has produced a level stakes profit each year since they've started proofing. Based upon what I've seen so far, it's highly likely bigger profits can be achieved by taking an early price. Selections are available on their website the evening before racing, which provides the opportunity to either take a price that evening or take advantage of bookmaker best odds guaranteed prices as soon as they're offered. If betting the evening before, check to see what odds Bet365 are offering, as they offer best odds guarantee the evening before, whereas most other major bookmakers don't offer it until 8 AM or even later in the morning. Selections are sent out with a straightforward message showing the time of the race, the name of the horse, and whether it's a 1 or 2 point bet. And there's just an example there of a recent selection from Lingfield, the 4 o'clock race, and it's Merhib is the horse. So there's no explanation about why the selection is. And I think that's probably because they're system-based selections rather than form-based. All selections are advised win only, and usually at the shorter end of the betting market, so there's no having to find the bookmaker offering the best each way terms. And so far this year, advised price returns have been significantly better than those based upon Betfair SP. I'll be continuing to monitor the early prices for selections and expect to see significantly better returns than BSP. Keep an eye out for my future video updates. I'll also be uploading more videos over the coming days for other tipsters I've been monitoring, both free and paid. So hit the subscribe button and ding the bell to make sure you get notified when new videos are uploaded.